Today's video is one from a year ago at Steadfast Farm. This is a segment of the first video that went up at fromthefield.farm. That's a full tour of Steadfast Farm. This one is looking at the tools and infrastructure. But I wanted to invite you guys to a webinar that I'm doing with Eric Schultz from Steadfast Farm, January 8th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Eric and I will be discussing farm design. We'll be looking at his farm. Actually, we'll be looking at his last two farms and maybe some others if we have time. And we'll be talking about farm design, some of the most important things that you need to understand when you're designing a farm. And we'll just be kind of pulling from Eric's and my experience, and then we'll be taking questions. But we're going to prioritize questions, I should say, for the people that are in the webinar. So there's going to be a link in the show notes of this video. Just go to that and sign up. And it's a Zoom link webinar, so you can just join in there. We'll also be broadcasting it to YouTube as I do my normal live sessions. So if you just want to watch and listen, you're welcome to, and it'll be archived up on YouTube. But we're going to prioritize the questions in the webinar. It's a little bit easier to field when you've got two people in there. So that's just how we'll do it. And yeah, hope to see you there January 8th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and enjoy this video. So this is the post-harvest area.
Yep.
Similar to what you had before.
Similar, yeah. We had the two buildings, but this time we actually flipped them because we wanted to get our walk-in cooler at the center point of the two buildings. So as we came in out of the field, we covered this time so we'd have protection from the elements and then be really like straight away into the walk-in cooler. And we also then allows us to then get out to loading vans and trailers.
Yeah.
Really streamlined, so as few steps as possible.
Yeah, and I like how it's kind of, the parking is right in the center.
Yeah.
Before they were over there.
Right.
So it was a longer walk, so it's way less steps now too.
Yeah. Now the buildings are they're like a little shifted to this side as opposed to middle of the farm, but this plot it's a rectangle, but it flares out, and so in order to have enough space for the vehicles to actually park behind the buildings, yeah, they had to push down here where it was a little bit deeper in that. Right. But otherwise, we're pretty central, which makes things pretty efficient.
Yeah, yeah. So here it looks like we've got post-harvest vegetable washing, spinning, drying, all of that.
Yeah. Right.
And then over here it looks like soil work, flats.
Yep.
You got a station for washing flats now.
Yeah.
So you didn't have that before. You were just doing it in the buzzers, right?
Yeah. So now we have a sink or a basin for washing flats, as well as that's our hand wash sink. So we have hot water, cold water, keeping things all to code over there. But yeah, this is our seating area, and then just kind of miscellaneous kind of utility area next to the washing germination chamber.
Oh, that's what that fridge is. Your germination chamber. Okay, we'll go check that out.
Yep. So that is, yeah, that's been, actually flipping was never how it was designed when I built these buildings originally, but it's actually worked out really, really well. And made a lot of new improvements to the wash station to kind of streamline and kind of take things to the next levels as far as efficiencies go as well.
Wow, that's great. This is your soil area.
Yep.
So you're filling, you got a soil mixer here.
Yep.
Cement mixer, basically, just repurposed?
Exactly, yeah. We bought it new, so it never had cement in it, but we have our raw materials around the corner. We measure everything in 5-gallon buckets, so we're able to do our loads of soil. Got our soil mix up there, and then they're able to mix a batch, and then it just goes into these mixing tubs. Slides underneath here, and then when there's a load, they can just take this off and then access the soil.
Oh, I love that.
Scrape it back in there. Or if they want just a whole tabletop, they can leave that on there like that. But allows us to have multiple batches. They can, if that one empties, they slide the next one under, and it just keeps it easy.
I like how you've done that with the two levels of the table.
Yeah.
You had this before, right?
Yep.
Just OSB, planted, painted.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yep. Yep. Storage for flats.
Yeah, clean flats here. When we have dirty flats, they go to the other spot underneath the table. That way they're close to it. And so if we know if they get staged over there, they need to be washed. Over here, they're clean. So.
See, that's good that you have those systems so that when a person comes to do this job, they know everything is good to go there.
Yeah.
That's something that farmers don't think about, and then they're just, okay, I'm looking for clean flats, which is a waste of time.
Is this clean? Is this dirty?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Exactly. So we've got tool storage in here.
Yep.
Pretty much exactly the same as you had it.
Yep. Yeah, we're still, getting settled, getting things kind of organized, and that our little tool or workbench over there is full of all our parts for building the greenhouse, so still getting through that. But in this move, we tried to really purge a bunch of things that weren't critical to the operation. It's just natural to acquire lots of tools over time, and so this move allowed us to reevaluate what we needed, what we're using, what had a benefit, and really try to get rid of things. So what you see here is basically what we use on a very regular basis. We added a couple of new tools this season with the move and that, but just the basics, but what we feel is the best possible tools for what we're trying to do.
Yeah. What's some of the new stuff you added this year?
We added the TerraTech double wheel hoe with the biodisc, so we can JM kind of was using that to hill the beets, and I like that, so it keeps the tops of the beets looking a little nicer. It also helps with cultivation. Yep. And then we use this blade on it for undercutting paper pots when we finish cropping out, so it just makes that a lot easier. We added the Two Bad Cats 30-inch wide tine weeder rake. We also have the 15-inch from Johnny's and that, but to be able to do it all in one pass has been good.
You've switched to basically the JP5 and the paper pot transplanter are your primary planting tools, and we did a walk in the field this morning, and that's pretty much how everything is planted, except the odd thing here and there, maybe a wide kale transplant or something. Talk a little bit about how this has kind of changed the game for you.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we made the decision with this new farm, which is our smallest project yet, at 1 3/4 total land mass, including all the buildings and all that, that we had to really streamline and decide what we were going to grow. And the two tools, the paper pot transplanter and this JP5, have been really instrumental and increasing our efficiencies and really helping us hit the goals we wanted to. And so we made the decision, if we can't transplant it with the paper pot or direct seed it with the JP5, we're not going to grow it here, basically.
Wow. Okay.
And so the exception, like you said, being what I call multi-harvest or fruiting crops. So summer squash in season, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, which there's such a wide spacing in that, and it just doesn't make sense to use those, and it's easy to justify the time for those. And then kale, collards, chard, that where you're planting and you're getting weeks of harvest off of them. So at that point in the spacing, again, it just doesn't make sense to use this tool. And so that's the only thing we're using plug flats for and hand transplanting anymore.
So everything is with these two, all the greens. And so talk about some of the what kind of crops in a nutshell are you planting with the JP5?
We're doing all of our cut greens, like salad greens, beyond the Salanova. So baby arugula, baby kale, or mesclun, brassica mix, mizuna, tatsoi. Then all of our turnips, so hakurei. We're doing a new salad turnip this year called the Scarlet Queen. Radishes, spinach.
And in that case, you're interchanging between a 3-row and a 5-row, right?
Correct.
So you're not doing everything at 10 rows on a 30-inch bed or 5 rows with that.
Yep. We're either doing 10 or 6 rows total. So all we do is skip over hoppers, right? So we don't have to readjust things. You just don't put seeds in that hopper, and then that changes your spacing. So you can even do 4 rows too, and how you configure it. But it's really versatile. You have to be cautious you just pay attention for your 2 center rows. If you get too close to the middle of the bed, then they get kind of close. But
that's right.
You just watch for that ridge when you make your second pass, and it's real easy. And it's been an amazing seeder, and going from that JP1 to the 6-row from Johnny's to this has been.
What have been some noticeable differences that you've seen between this and the 6-row? Because when you were doing your high density stuff, you were using the 6-row for a long time. So what's different about this now than the 6-row?
It's all about bed prep, and so and consistency of like the density. So the 6-row is a great starter high density seeder. It does the job, but this one, as far as like, I don't have to have the beds perfectly, the moisture level is perfect, the tamping doesn't have to be just perfect. This will go through many conditions and not have to worry about it. And we have pretty challenging soil typically, especially at our last place. And if the soil moisture wasn't just right, it was a nightmare. And so then that would delay us a week waiting for that to get right. And we were power harrowing, and then we were using the bed roller to tamp it and really pack it down. And still, it was just challenging. And it was actually really kind of hard on your body because you have to really lean into it.
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
Once you get going, you don't want to stop, so you're just practically kind of running.
Yeah.
And so this is super easy. And you know, even though we've gone from 12 rows to 10 rows, so we lost 2 rows, we haven't really seen like a loss in harvest as a result.
Yeah,
so.
right.
But yeah, we like it. And then when we started with the JP5, we had the standard shoes.
Yes.
And then when you and Diego put out the JP5 with the narrower shoes, and we got those from you, I mean, that was a huge change from where before it was always still collecting a lot of debris because there just wasn't much room between the rows, where now it
cuts through.
It's beautiful. So,
Yeah.
It's fun.
And then, so talk about the paper pot.
Yeah.
You mean, we all know Salanova. Everybody's doing that. So what other kind of crops are you using the paper pot for?
We are using it we grow a baby pak choi heads. We do that in there. We use storage radishes in there. So we're growing black Spanish watermelon and like a purple daikon in a smaller size that we bunch. So we grow those in the paper pot. Fennel, kohlrabi. Depending on the time of year, we'll grow spinach. If it's real hot and we're trying to get better germination, we can control that with a germination chamber and in the paper pots and then transplant it. Salanova, head lettuce. What else? Green onions or scallions.
Yeah, the scallions. Yep. You were doing spinach too.
Yeah. We're doing spinach in the shoulder seed. Like for us, when it's really hot and it's hard to direct seed and get good germination, we can plant into like 2-inch pots, use our germination chamber, get perfect germination, and then just transplant.
What temperature can you get? Or can you There's got to be a time where you can't grow spinach.
Yeah.
How far have you been able to push it as far as temperature?
I mean, probably into May is about where it starts to be kind of a loss leader, right. And that it'll still hold on depending on what. But with the transplanting, you'll still have marginal success even pushing that. But yeah, it's they're more finicky. It uses a lot of trays. So when we can direct seed it with the JP5, we still prefer that. We're just going to get the better density and yield.
So if you guys liked that and you are interested in Steadfast Farm, I am teaching a workshop there on February 3rd. The links to the tickets will also be in the show notes, and I hope to see some of you there. All right, see you in the next video.